Greetings, fellow safety adults. This is Captain Black. Today's topic, urban safetyism. What is urban safetyism and why should you practice it? It is my effort as a consultant to work with you, the business owner, the manager, or the employee, to enlist you as a partner, not a hostage, not a bystander, in enhancing workplace safety. The urban dimension of it references an inner city which became a very dangerous place for its original inhabitants and remains very dangerous for newcomers who set up shop. Between internal and external theft and violence in and around enterprises, it's very different than the days when urban businesses perhaps were far less targeted. In the world that we now face, those of us who open their doors to make money, to provide goods and services, also open our doors to those who come, quite frankly, to take the fruit of those goods and services. Urban safetyism is the adult realization that it is not anyone else's responsibility to guard your place of business but you. While your taxes do fund the police department, and while you can opt to hire off-duty police or security guard company or get an alarm system or mount and activate security cameras, while these are valuable options, they pale, I think at least, beside the value of joining with a consultant and working to make you and your workforce and your place of business safer. We can't have big guards and little clients anymore. I think the past couple of weeks, for instance, worth of headlines on the national front show us that, sadly, but realistically, many of us in our workplaces may find ourselves being de facto first responders. And if you're a business owner or an event planner, the fact that you could be, or those associated with you could be, de facto first responders should weigh very heavily upon you. Looking at your business practices, looking at how your enterprise operates, where you can make your people more aware, where you can make your perimeter more secure, not only makes business sense, but it could make sense in a life or death fashion. Many of our urban centers and many of our suburbs are finding themselves as epicenters of planned, calculated, and sometimes sporadic, instantaneous mayhem. Urban safetyism realizes that and unites with business owners and event planners to train up the workforces so that they're not just spectators, so that when something happens, they're not standing there in shock, because there is no conditioned response. There is no program between their ears. You may dial 911, but as I tape this in New Orleans, the response time is 3 times the national average, or more realistically, by the end of the day or the end of several days, depending on previous call volume and the morale of a rapidly diminishing police force. Urban safetyism says that business owners and event planners are partners in protection. As I referenced, it's not the day of the big guard, me, and the little hostage, you. We come together as equals. We look at how the business or the event operates, to whom it markets itself, and then we adjust ourselves accordingly. I'm there as your partner, but you also are my partner. We can't have this hierarchy where one person outranks the other person. When it comes to safety, we are all equally at risk and thus must be equally united to provide it. I've been doing this for nightclubs, for events, for businesses, diverse businesses, including a bookstore and a clothing and jewelry shop over the years and throughout my travels. Our workplaces are not only where we go to get goods and services, but in the world in which we find ourselves, battlefields, either quietly or loudly, in the never-ending struggle between the criminal and the merchant. Urban Safetyism is trying to give you, the merchant, the event planner, all the advantages you need by becoming your partner in protection. This is Captain Black, and I'm very glad that you chose to be a safety adult.